everybody, Sam's Trades here. Welcome back to the Railway and welcome back to another Monday special review. Now, today's review is quite a special one. It's quite a special loco. It's one that I picked up from a toy fair a long while ago, well, a few months ago now. And since I showed it in that video, I've had quite a lot of comments and messages even asking me to review this one. And apart from this loco being in quite a special livery, it's also quite special in that this year marks the 40th anniversary of this model. Hornby released this exactly 40 years ago to this year, so that's quite an interesting point as well. But anyway, this is what the loco is. It is the London Transport Pannier tank. Now obviously there's nothing too special about the Triang Hornby Pannier tank. They produced loads and loads of them, but the vast majority of them were in GWR green, I believe it was, and I've got a couple of those too. But this is quite an unusual one, as you can see, the London Transport version, number L90, in this sort of London Transport maroon, which is very unusual and also very, very beautiful. They only did this for 1 year. I think it was in 1977, something like that. I have got that date written down, so I'll confirm that later on. But anyway, yes, 40 years ago. Anyway, so it'll be 78, won't it, if it's 40 years ago? Duh. Anyway, let me show you the end of the box. So this one is just R041 GWR loco pannier tank. So yeah, technically it's not GWR, but it is a pannier tank. And as you can see, the price here from the train fair is £27.50. Now, as I say, it was quite a while ago, so I don't exactly remember what I paid, but usually I try to barter, so I would guess that I got this for closer to 25. But if anyone's willing to trawl back and find that video and let me know exactly what I paid, I'll be much obliged, but I can't exactly remember which one it was now. Anyway, let's get this out then. This is a really unusual loco, and actually when I saw this at the train fair, I had no idea that such a thing existed in this livery, and I couldn't resist it, for quite a good price as well. So anyway, here it is, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, quite a dated model, obviously 40 years old this year, but still I think really, really beautiful. And I don't have any other London Transport locomotives, so that is really, really cool for me. But anyway, I'm going to review this up close, but first of all, here's a little bit of information, not only about the class in real life, but about this model too. So the GWR 5700 class, or 57XX, was one of many classes of pannier tank to be built for the Great Western Railway. These particular ones were designed by Charles Collett and they were built between 1929 and 1950, with a whopping 853 being produced in total. Hornby first released this particular pannier tank in Great Western Green, as I was saying, in 1972, and the London Transport version, number L90, was released for 1 year only in 1978, and the model could be purchased either on its own or as part of the London Transport goods set, which was also only available for the 1 year. So anyway, a huge thanks to YoBox who are sponsoring this video, and here's a little bit more about them. So this is the YoBox range of high quality security cases which offer superior protection against dust, moisture and shock. Pick and pluck foam inserts mean that you can tailor these cases to hold whatever you like for effective protection and transportation. These YoBoxes are absolutely perfect for our precious railway models, but they're also perfect for other valuables such as cameras and other sensitive equipment. There's a vast range of colours and sizes available too, so visit YoPortal's website for more information, and there's a link for that in the description. So I want to test how well these cases will protect our models under very extreme circumstances, so I'm going to throw this one from the upstairs window of my house. First though, I want to make a model to use as a test dummy. So what I'm doing here is I'm sticking some fake detail onto this old Triang body, and I'm also doing it deliberately badly to try and simulate the fragility of modern detail and things. So if any of this stuff survives, well hopefully it all will, then we'll know that the cases have done a good job in protecting it. So tune in next time to see how this model fares after a pretty long fall. So back to the pannier tank then, and there she is up against the white background looking absolutely gorgeous. I really do love this one. Now with regards to realism, I don't know really how accurate this livery is. Certainly the London Transport locos that I've seen in real life struck me as being a slightly deeper sort of shade of maroon, I would say. I don't know whether that makes sense to anybody or whether I'm just barking up the wrong tree, but this seems a lot more like the sort of Hornby red rather than the London Transport red. But to be perfectly honest, the 1970s was not not a time where Hornby locos were designed really as models. They were certainly more intended to be toys, and as a toy I think this is still really, really beautiful. It's got a lot of charm to it, and actually the detail on it isn't too bad for the era. So let's take a look at the paintwork then. Obviously I've talked about the shade of maroon, but you have got lining here which is all aged really, really well. I mean, there's not a mark on it as far as I can see. You've got that sort of double lining there with the London Transport font on there, which does actually look pretty good. That looks pretty much as the London Transport font really does. And on the side of the cab you've also got the running number, of course, L90, with yet more yellow lining. Around the back of the coal bunker there's not much to see there. Most of the detail is just moulded on and unpainted, but I suppose it's nice to see detail there in the first place. And if we take a look at the buffer beams, you can see there is a little bit of riveting going on there, quite a nice amount of riveting. And you've also got these separately fitted buffers, which of course aren't sprung, which isn't unusual for the era, but nice to see nonetheless. But the rest of the model isn't really too bad at all. You can see the smoke box there has a fair bit of detail on it. You can clearly see the smoke box dart there, but certainly nothing painted on there. But up on top of the model you've got a fair bit of nice detailing. The chimney of course has been painted into black, and the tip of the chimney is also copper coloured. I think with the original Triang Pannier tanks they were actually made of metal. That one to me looks more like plastic, but it is hard to tell. And then you've got the safety valve, sort of, I don't know, it's not a dome, is it? More of a cone, which again is just plastic, but again it has been separately painted, which is nice. Something which isn't made of plastic though is the whistles just behind there, and as you can see, yes, they are metal pieces, which is really nice to see. But apart from that, the detail's fairly basic, and yes, unfortunately no cab detail of any kind with these, because of course the X04 motor sits right inside there, so yes, there's really no chance of any cab detail. Yeah, this really is a very basic model, but certainly from a distance this beautiful livery looks absolutely fantastic. So let's get it down onto the track then and see how it runs. Okay, so there she is then, the London Transport Pannier down onto the track, and I've hooked her up with a really large train actually. She's got a couple of siphons to start off with, and in a second when you drive off you're going to see just how many different mixed wagons she's got to pull. So if she can manage them, it should be quite an impressive display of her strength. Then on the middle line I've got this pannier tank. This is the more common GWR green pannier tank, and she's got some Great Western coaches, very nice to see. And then on the inside line, more Triang classics, two of the Triang Hall classes, and when they go by you're going to see that they've got quite a big rake of the old Triang Great Western coaches. But for now then, let's get the London Transport loco tested at slow speed. Quite nasty actually, because she's just in front of an express point just here. But also, before I forget, keep an eye out on the layout, see which other classic Triang engines you can spot, and as always there is an odd one out. But for now, let's give her a little bit of a slow speed test. Here we go. And she has got the train behind her, by the way, which makes things more difficult. And as you can see, she is easing forwards quite nicely there. And before she reaches the express point, I'm going to try her in reverse, just so that we can see how she does that. Seem to remember reverse isn't quite as good. Yeah, she seems to sort of kick in at higher speeds in reverse. But for whatever reason, she does a lot better forwards. And let's just see what happens on the express point. Oh, incredibly, she's gotten over it. That is incredible, because these things only have 4 pickups. Okay, so let's get her going forwards then. Here we go. There we go. Get her up to a decent speed, so just so she doesn't stop on the points or anything. There we go. And then let's get the more traditional Great Western Triang Pannier tank going. There we go. With 3 coaches, as you can see. And now my Hall class double header. Here we go. Which is Hagley Hall, I believe, and that one is... Which one's that one? Was that one Albert Hall or Nella Hall? I think it was Nella. Anyway, enjoy the running session. So, she might not be the most detailed loco in all the world, but when it comes to pulling power, I think she'll probably knock the socks off the Bachmann version. As you can see, up Gordon's Hill she comes. I can't really see her slowing down or wheel slipping, to be honest, but as you can see, it really is quite a long consist for her. So here are my ratings then for the Hornby London Transport Pannier tank. Don't forget, this is all going into the vintage rating and ranking, so I'm not comparing these with modern locos. Detail 2 out of 5, power 5 out of 5, slow speed I think 3 out of 5, quality 5 out of 5, and value for around £25, 4 out of 5. Overall then, that places her 7.20 out of 10, and into the vintage rankings she goes at 3rd, just above the Lima Great Western railcar, and below the Hornby Class 25. Not too bad. There goes the traditional Great Western one, looking really, really lovely that. Uh-oh, something's derailed I think. Oh yeah, it's one of those wagons.
We'll have to see what happens with that.
There we go, I've popped it back on, but I am going to run her just a touch slower, just so that it's not in danger of jumping off again, but it seems to be okay again now.
Oops, thank you hall classes for ruining that shot. Oh well, that's a bit out of focus, sorry about that. I can hear that wagon's come up again. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same one. That's annoying, I wonder what's causing that.
Right, I've slowed the pannier down even more now, so hopefully she won't start cutting out on points, or she did briefly, but she just about got away with it. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that wagon. There was nothing wrong, you know, at first glance, but I'll have to double check. Okay folks, well I hope you enjoyed that review anyway. It's certainly been quite a popularly requested one, so I'm glad to have finally gotten around to it for you. But anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to leave it a like or even a comment, because I do love it when you guys get in touch, of course. But I think that's all I've got to say. So once again, thank you very much for your company, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers everybody!